Welcome to the next video from the What is Pandas notebook. In this video, I'm going to show several different pandas examples from different parts of the library. This will just be a small sampling of the total available data analysis tasks that pandas can complete. I just want to give you an overall view of some of the things that pandas is good at doing. Now notice in this video, the idea is not to explain the code, that's for the rest of the course, but to just give you a sample of the things that pandas can do. All right, so let's get started by importing pandas, aliasing it as PD. Here I'm going to read in a data set of bike rentals. So each row represents a single bike rental. This is a data frame. And one of the simplest things that you probably want to do with data sets is to query or just filter for specific rows that meet a specific condition. In this case, the condition is that the trip duration will be greater than 5,000 and that the gender will be equal to the string female. Let's go ahead and look at the first three that match this criteria. And there they are, so you can double check, verify that they match. Pandas can also aggregate values very easily. So the definition of an aggregation is a sequence of values that is summarized by a single number. So let's take a look at this data set, which contains salaries from employees. So each row is a single employee with their salary. So let's say we want to aggregate the each column and summarize each column by the mean. So we'll take every value in that column, take the mean, and then report that. So pandas can do that easily with this. And what is returned, you can see here, these are the mean values for each of those columns with a simple single line of code. You've just aggregated each column independently. Moving on, pandas has non-aggregating methods, such as the round method, where each value is rounded and then returned a value. So we're not summarizing the columns, but we're just changing each value. So we're going to round to the nearest 1,000, and that's done by using -3 like that. And so here we go, we've rounded each value to the nearest 1,000. So we previously just aggregated over the entire data frame, but we might want to aggregate within groups, and pandas has that capability. So instead of just taking a column such as the charges column and finding the mean of it, we can find the charges within groups of another column. So in this case, we're going to look in the sex column and find all the unique values of sex. Those will each be groups. And then we will find the mean charges for all those different groups. Let's go ahead and execute this right here. And we can see that we've gotten two different mean values of charges because there are two different groups. All right, moving on. If you've worked in Excel, you've probably worked with pivot tables. So pandas has this as well. In this instance, we're going to pivot the sex and region column. So the unique values in the sex and region columns will form these groups. And then we'll do the same thing we did above and just find the mean charges for those groups. So for instance, the females in the Northwest region have this average charge and so on. So that's a pivot table in pandas. Now, if you're delivering a report, say in a Jupyter notebook, you might want to change the style of the outputted data frame, and you can do that in pandas. And here's an example with a couple of style changes. We've highlighted the maximum value in each column over here, and we've also formatted the data such that there is a comma for the thousands place. All right, pandas can also join data together. So in this example here, we have some authors in one table. We have these machine learning papers in another table. And let's say we're interested in finding the author from each of these papers. So say over here in the first row, we want to find out, okay, who is the author of paper ID 5677? Well, we can join these tables together in pandas with this merge method like this. And so now I know that the author of 5677 is this person right over here. Pandas is fully capable of doing time series analysis. Here is Microsoft stock data 20 years of it. So one cool thing that you can do here is you can select a very specific time period pretty easily. Here I've selected these 4 days, just like that. So we're just selecting a very specific period of time just to focus our attention on it. We can also group by time, so which is also fairly interesting. So let's say we want to average all of the closing prices for each month of the stock. That's what we do here. So for each month, there will be an average price for all of the closing prices in that month. Pandas is also capable of producing visualizations from its data frame. So down here, we're just going to take the Microsoft monthly chart and plot it as a line plot like that. And in this line, we will plot the pivot table that we created above with the insurances divided by sex and region. Okay, so that is, again, just a small sampling of what Pandas can do. There are many, many more tasks that it can complete, and we will begin learning them in detail in the next video.